Hello everyone, this is going to be our presentation on international social work through the context of the United States, Turkey, and Germany, also with comparative social work and a reflection of what we learned. Before we go into everything, we did put the definition of what social work is. This is the global 2014 definition. Social work is a practice-based profession and an academic discipline that promotes social change and development through social cohesion and the empowerment of liberation of people. It's also important to note that this is a work in progress definition. It is not the most up-to-date. It is important to note that social work is used differently among different countries. Each of us are from 3 different countries. In the United States, social work can be utilized alongside other professions such as lawyers, doctors, and educators. Social work can also be found at private practice centers such as therapists and other agencies. The National Association of Social Workers, the NASW, is used to define ethical practice in the United States. In Turkey, social work takes place in organizations such as kindergartens, disabled care centers, women's shelters, and youth centers. Social workers are involved in organizations that provide financial assistance in areas where disadvantaged groups are concentrated. In Germany, social work is found in many areas of activity characterized by the existing development of social security systems. Because of social work, it is related to state institutions as well as NGOs and individual projects. This is more of an elaboration on the fields that social workers are in the United States. Schools and educations, these social workers can help create individualized education plans, also known as IEPs, or be guidance counselors, peer mediators for students in that education system. Legal services, there's something called victim advocates that work alongside legal services to provide support for individuals. They can also be a part of different resources offered in the community. This can be like nonprofit organizations or community resources. Medical facilities like hospitals, specialized facilities, these social workers offer help with discharging, inpatient, outpatient treatment, and other forms of therapy, such as group therapy. And then private practices, there's something that in the United States we have an LMSW, which would be a licensed master social worker. One step above that would be a licensed clinical social worker. These people are able to have fee-for-service and their own private practice. They can bill health insurance and assist clients with their needs. This is a condensed version of the NASW timeline for social workers in the United States. I've linked it at the top here, but it goes from 1898 all the way up to 2022, and there's many different sort of historical points for social workers and the NASW, so people understand kind of like the work that has gone into this progress. The first social work class was taught at Columbia University in 1898. In 1955, the NASW was established. In 1975, the NASW's National Committee of Racial and Ethnic Diversity was created. In 2001, cultural competency became a permanent part of the NASW. And in 2022, there were new revisions to the Code of Ethics, such as anti-racism and self-care. All of these are utilized in social work practice each day. With the link I provided at the top, there will be a lot more detailed versions of the NASW and the commitments that they made to the program.
The history of social work in Germany is located in the Weimarer Republic and the establishment and development of social security systems at this time. After the Second World War, social work had an expansion focused in the establishment of a welfare state, which is the base for our current social security systems. Social work in Germany is based in many different areas of activity and is characterized by the extensive development of social security systems. Because of that, social work is a lot about a link to state institutions as well as NGOs and individual projects. Because there are a lot of topics and activities social work is about, I decided for 3 current examples. First one is the demographic change, what means that we become less people in Germany and that there are more old instead of young people. Because social work in Germany is also about elderly care and In addition, the demographic change is also a risk for the social security systems. The second example I choose is about the integration of migrants, what is also a current topic as a result out of the war between the Ukraine and Russia. The last one is about that Germany already has a significant income disparities, and because of that also huge social inequalities. But because of the inflation and rising living costs, the combating of poverty is an important challenge for social workers. Because I'm a student of social science and economic and ethics, I was really excited about this week because social work was something completely new for me. But now I can make the conclusion that the content of social science and social work is really close. But social science is based more on a theoretical way and is about understanding, and social work, again, is more about activity. But in the end, both are about combining social problems and want to produce a welfare society. Therefore, I could extend my theory knowledge in this week. In addition, what I took out of this course for my own journey and what was most interesting for me is the complexity of culture. Also, like a lot of presentations were about the need of intercultural competence and culture difference. To come back to my studies, it's out of the economic view also really important because of the globalization. We have a international economy. So it's a must to understand culture difference for a successful company. Also, for example, diversity management is a current topic for companies because it can offer a lot of advantages for companies and help to react on the challenges of migration or the demographic change, what it's also in the interest of social work.
In Turkey, social work in the Western sense has started to develop since 1960. In 1965, it graduated its first students. Social work has the opportunity to work in many fields in Turkey, such as court, foundations, ministries, and hospitals. Especially the high number of immigrants from the East makes social work more important. Social work in Turkey is still a developing subject. Especially, projects on social work practice in schools are being carried out. Support provided by social work in Turkey. Protecting disadvantaged groups. Providing socioeconomic aid to children. Helping immigrants to integrate. Ensuring the protection of the family system. Providing psychosocial support to soldiers, veterans, and their families. Main objectives of international social work. The major focus of international social work is on the interaction between processes of globalization and the development of social welfare at national level, as well as social work and community development locally. International social workers help eliminate barriers to development for populations experiencing disadvantages. They work to protect human rights and ease economic stress for vulnerable communities. They help ensure basic needs are met and assist in liberating oppressed people. International social workers can focus on the following topics: child protection, feeding the hungry, assisting refugees, offering post-disaster assistance, promoting gender equity, comforting people receiving medical care, promoting physical and mental well-being.
Comparative social work does not only contrast different countries, it also includes various systems, national, regional, cultural, and institutional perspective. If we think about the question why we need comparative social work, it's about because it's important to develop new perspectives and a critical reflectivity. Because of that, it is helpful for a better understanding of our own acting and this of other systems.
Throughout the week, there are many different things that we learned about international social work, such as the different challenges based on cultural differences, language barriers, and different infrastructures for the process. There are different opportunities to be made here, such as learning from diverse practices, exposing to different cultures and social work methods, and then enhancing professional competence. There are different roles for advocacy and policy, such as social justice policies, influence on international human rights, collaboration with NGOs for policy implementation, ethical considerations such as balancing global, local, and ethical practice, addressing power imbalances and resource allocation, adhering to the ISFW principles. The impact and personal growth of the international social work could be improved based on social cohesion and resilience in communities, enhanced cultural competence for practitioners, and fostering empathy to different communities and social justices.